Welcome back. I'm Felix, and I'm reacting to British Mom. British Mum reacts to dangerous Gen X faced in America. This is Liz. He reacts. He's a reactor. I don't know what I was going to say, but he'll have his mom on here sometimes. She's a Gen X. I wanted to see her reaction. I'm Gen X, and I want to see how many of these things are real and not real, because the when they're watching the video, they'll watch this guy. Sometimes, I'll be honest, doesn't know what he's talking about. Because there's some of them just like that never happened. That was only in movies. So I kind of wonder the person that's doing this, are they a Gen Xer, or is it just AI? I'm gonna go with they're not a Gen Xer, and it's probably AI. But let's see his mom's reaction and his reaction. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and as always, I'll leave a link for his video and the other video.
Gen X phase, and we do have my mum back again with another video. Well, my mum is a Gen Xer.
Choose your words very carefully.
No, but you're a Gen X.
I'm a Gen Xer. If I didn't say that, I don't think I did. I'm actually one of the, well, let me rephrase. I'm one of the original Gen Xers. What I mean by that, originally the Gen X went up to 76, which is when I was born. Then probably in the late 90s, early 2000s, they changed the time range to include all the way up to 1980, which I'm not sure why. But originally, I just barely made the cutoff, because I think even when when they were saying I was part of Gen X, they were actually saying up to 75, and then they changed it to 76, because there was a weird cutoff. It was like a certain month in 75, so they changed it to 76. And then it stayed that way for the longest, and then they changed it to the 80s. And again, I don't know why. But let's see. Let's get back to it and see what's going on.
It's all right.
Yeah?
Yeah, you're a Gen Xer, so you're perfect for this video.
Yeah.
Basically, my mum's going to be here comparing how Gen X was like in the UK
In my day.
to this video, which is obviously Gen X in America. Right? So you're going to have your input and tell us
I sure am.
how you was when you was a kid. Right?
Yes.
Cool. Right, let's get into it.
Oh.
If you grew up as Generation X, then it's probably a miracle you even survived. At least that's what the modern world tells us.
Okay.
Many of the things that were normal back then are now taboo. In this video, we will
that
have a
true?
look back
Yeah.
and wonder how Gen X kids even survived. Television wasn't everything, but it
Is that
was
your
still
TV?
pretty
That was
important.
my TV.
If you were a kid in the 70s, then you probably did not.
We had TVs like that, knob and tube, and the little dial on them. I remember spinning that thing as fast as I could. It made a clicking noise. I was just spin it, and I don't know why. It just did. Most of them only went up to like channel 13 on those knobs, and then there was a second knob you adjusted and turned. I don't even remember what the second one was for. I think it was supposed to be like the frequency or something. And then there were some other switches that did other things. And there used to be UHF, which is not a thing anymore, because there was VHF and UHF. And UHF, I don't remember what those things stand for. Actually, I don't know if either one's actually used anymore to really describe television. But yeah, I remember these TVs. They were, even with color TV being out around this time, these were still the TVs most people had, just because they were cheap, inexpensive, and easy to get your hands on.
Have cable. Most people relied on a television antenna, which was usually rabbit ears and tin foil.
Okay.
However, there were some households that used an antenna that was mounted on top of the roof.
Only if you're lucky.
Every so often,
Only, what do you mean only if you're looking?
Only if you're lucky.
Why only if you're looking?
Well, we had a coat hanger.
Ah!
A wire coat hanger that was put in.
I remember a coat hanger. There was a hole in the back of the TV. You stick the coat hanger down in there, and if you could twist it just right, you could get it to stay, and then you use that as your base to build on. But yeah, there were times you had to stand behind it. We had a cable that was behind it that kind of ran up the wall as an antenna to help with the signal. Even when cable was really available, we still used the antennas. It was free, so why not?
inside the back of the TV. that gave you...
And that would bring the signal.
Not for 50,000 channels what you've got today. You had you didn't know, you didn't. Sorry, I beg your pardon. You had 3. You had 3 channels.
Really?
We had more than 3. I think before cable really took off, just using the antenna, if you were lucky, you could get, if you had an antenna like that, you could get probably like 10 or more channels. And I remember cable, when we got cable, they gave you the cable box. If you adjusted, it had knobs on it too, to where you could adjust it to fix the signal on the cable box. If you adjusted that cable box just right, you could get other channels. Not like there was one channel we could get. We either got the sound or the audio, and depending on what the day was outside, we could sometimes get both, but it was still fuzzy. So it was really interesting.
3 channels.
Yeah.
And then 4 came out. You were so lucky. And then 5. Oh my God, 5.
See, this is what I knew this video would be good to do with you, because you could like say how it was in the UK.
But you didn't have none of this.
What, you just did it on TV?
You had to get up and press the
Oh
button.
no.
1,
No.
2.
They did have remotes back then for TVs, but they were expensive. Those were the expensive TVs. It was amazing if you knew someone who had a remote TV. And I remember when prices did come down on them, we finally got, well, remote came with the cable box, so I think that was the first remote we had for a TV. No, I think it was when we got a VCR, because it came with the remote. Wait, no, cable box was first, VCR, because VCRs were expensive. But we got a cable box and it came with the remote. Originally, cable boxes did not come with a remote. You still had to get up and change the channel with those. So if you had a remote for your TV and a cable box, you still had to get up and... There was no remote for the cable box in the beginning. That came later. But yeah, remotes really weren't a thing when I was growing up until I would say almost junior high, to where it was uncommon to have a TV without a remote or a cable box without a remote.
You had to get up.
That sounds like a nightmare.
This antenna would need to be adjusted thanks to some wind or weather. This became a family affair.
What, like
Dad,
these
of course,
dials?
was in charge of the
Oh, yeah,
picture, so
yeah,
he
you
was
clicked
right
it.
in front of the television. One of the kids would be up on top of the roof and ready to receive instructions.
Okay, first off, most kids weren't getting on the roof. Not in America. If we were on the roof, we got up there just to goof around. We weren't getting up there. We didn't want to be on the roof with our parents knowing it, first off. And if the antenna needed adjusted, we didn't get up there. The dads would get up there and adjust it. They were the ones who get up there, and they would yell down, "What's this? What's it doing?" And you had to respond. So yeah, it was rare. It was the other way around.
Instructions from the relay of the rest of the family spread out from Dad.
Right.
So wait, did you do that? Because a lot of Americans told me that the parents would send the kids up onto the roof.
No, not onto the roof.
Oh.
I used to have to stand at the back of the TV.
Right. Okay. So in America, the
Yeah.
parents a lot of the time would send their kids onto the roof.
That was more probably the redneck families, but on average, it was the dad got up there.
To mess around with this until the dad got like the signal. He'd be like, yeah, hold it there, you're good,
Yeah.
to get the signal.
Well, that's what we did, but we was behind the TV
Oh,
in
behind-
the house in the living room, and Grandad would say, "No, left, right, no, stay there."
So at least he was a bit safer. At least he wasn't on the roof.
Yeah, he
No
thought
one
of it.
ever thought anything about kids being on the roof and then falling off.
Mad.
Most kids got up there anyways just to get a better view of the neighborhood or the stars.
You would.
Well, for one, there's a lie. Parents didn't want you on the roof because they were afraid you're going to damage their roof. And roofs are not cheap. So, yeah, I remember friends getting on their roofs and getting yelled at by their parents, because you're not going to damage my roof. Get off that roof.
Do that now.
Many newer roofs are much more steep, and that might be considered child abuse to send your kid up there.
Oh, yeah.
I guess it's a good thing that people don't have to deal with antennas on the roof. Summers as a kid were always fun.
Yeah, you
Why
went out.
wouldn't it be? You were out of school, and that meant you could
Yeah.
spend more time with your friends. But with all that running around outside, you were bound to get thirsty.
Okay.
There's nothing quicker and more refreshing than a sip from the garden hose.
Yeah.
What do you mean,
See,
yeah?
is that alien to you?
I actually had my kids do that. We were outside playing. They drank from it. They had no problem with it. Yeah, garden hose. It was there because the parents didn't want you coming inside, so we drank from the hose. Now, sometimes the parents bring us something to drink, but otherwise, Hose was there. We turn it on, get a quick drink, and go back to playing.
Yes.
Is it really?
That is weird.
Oh my god.
You drank from the hose.
Yeah.
But that was the wrong action, but.
Yeah. Yeah, you did.
That's weird.
No, it was fun.
You
It was
did
fun.
that. I thought that was just an
Listen,
American thing.
Kids played out in the street. They drank from hoses. They played in muddy puddles. They don't do that now.
We used to make mud pies. I remember thinking about, I wonder what it really tastes like. I want to say I did taste it. I was a kid. We did stupid things. We played in the mud. We swung from trees. We jumped from trees that were way too high to be jumping from. So yeah, we definitely were a lot more dangerous back then.
No.
It was
oh, that's disgusting.
I think it was a lot safer back then than it is now.
What?
For
How is
children.
no drinking in a hose? Like bugs could be in it. Anything could be in it.
Yeah, but that's your generation because you're
Germ freaks now.
yeah.
And also, you turn the hose on and let it run for a little bit to flush it out, and then you drink from it.
Yeah.
Whereas then, we used to pick up worms and lick them and play with them and
Run through the woods, tall grass. I was one of those people that could run through poison ivy and not get it. So, and even if people got it, they still kept playing. They wait till they went home to be like, I got poison ivy.
all sorts.
Oh man.
Muddy
No.
puddles.
Of course, you had to let it
No.
run a while before it got cool enough to
that's how
drink,
it
but
should
it
be.
certainly had a distinctive taste. When is the last time that you've seen a kid do this?
Never.
Never.
It's supposed to be
Not
unhealthy,
in your
yet here we
generation.
are. But
I can't
occasionally,
believe you
I
did
still
that. Like,
think
I
it's
thought that was an
a
American thing.
No. Who did that?
The
Mad.
garden hose was also connected to a couple other activities that parents today may consider them to be too dangerous. The first one was the slip and slide.
You did that.
I never got to do the slip and slide. I never really wanted to do it, and I didn't know anyone that had it. We didn't have slip and slide where I lived. I think some people had a slip and slide, but I never did it. One of the things we did do, even though I didn't do slip and slide, we did a mudslide, where if you had a hill that was steep enough and it rained, you could get a trash bag or cardboard or something, and you run and slide down the hill. And we used to do that, but I never did the slip and slide.
Slip and
The
slide?
No, we
older
never did
editions
that,
of the
'cause we never
slide
had the
slide
room
were a
for
little
slip
bit
and
more
slide.
dangerous.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, Americans have bigger houses, bigger land, where they can set that up in their yards,
Yeah.
their gardens. Whereas, like, if you did that in our garden, you're slipping into stones and then the road.
Well, we're slipping into the kitchen going, hi Mum, what's for tea?
And some
You'd
kids
end up in
broke
the oven.
bones or chipped teeth on these, but just about everyone slid off the end or over the side and got a grass or rock burn.
Right.
Believe it or not, they still sell these, but they are a
That
little
would
bit
be fun,
safer.
though. I would like that.
You
That
can
would
buy
be...
them.
However,
You can
I'm
buy
not
them,
so
but
sure.
nobody's
But where
got-
can you put it?
You can't.
As
You
kids,
can't.
we all enjoyed playing in the water sprinkler, but some of these sprinklers could be pretty rough. This one
We don't
in
really have
particular
them
was
either.
really dangerous.
That's a mince
It had
grinder.
a solid steel base.
Huh?
That looks like a mince grinder.
A mince grinder. Meat grinder.
Yeah. Is that not?
No, it's a sprinkler.
Oh,
Now that type of sprinkler, I don't recall that type of sprinkler growing up. I think that was more 70s and 80s. I think they had started switching them over to a different type of sprinkler in the 80s.
But that's what they're saying. They had them in their gardens.
Oh,
yeah.
we never had sprinklers.
Well, we don't have big enough gardens.
No. We don't,
You know what I mean?
We don't have. No, I've never
A
seen
little bit of
sprinkler.
rain will do us, or like
Yeah.
you,
A lot-
you get this
well,
water bottle, just chuck it, and it will do
To
the
be
garden.
honest, we don't need sprinklers because we have that much rain in the UK.
Yeah, true. But like what they're saying is like this will be in their yards, and then like kids will be playing, and then they'll hit their foot on that, and that looks sharp.
We actually had toys, and that would have little hoses on top that would spray around, and we used to play games trying to grab the top of it and stuff, see who can get the closest to it. But yeah, we didn't have a sprinkler system. We didn't need one in our yard, but probably because we were always out there playing in the water ourselves with the hose or with our toy that sprayed water everywhere.
That's dangerous, man.
This one in particular was really dangerous. It had a solid steel base that could certainly hurt if you stubbed a
That
toe
would
on it
kill.
or fell on it, but that wasn't the dangerous part. When the
Like-
water ran through the sprinkler, it
Yeah.
would move the metal fan blade at the top. At
Can't
that
put
point,
that
it was
in
like a
your
little
garden.
saw blade that
They
was
did.
spinning fast on top, and it could cut through little water-soaked toes and feet. Kids were fast learners, though. If
That's
they
to
got
be,
cut
wasn't it?
once, they would
Otherwise,
be
we'd have
sure
no
to clear it the
bleeding
next
toes
time.
left.
Kids in our day used to be outside a lot, and we loved it.
We had this, but with the
That
bat.
worked out great because most of
And
our
we did
parents
this.
really
Yeah,
didn't want us
such.
inside the house anyways. As a result, kids spent a lot of time out in the sun. And sunblock? We had no idea what that was. Are you talking about a hat or a shade tree? At most, we may have depended on SPF 4, and that's only if we were super cautious.
Even I needed sunblock back then. It used to really get hot back in those times. The summer was hot. I remember I fell asleep at the pool. Lucky enough, my sister and her friends put sunblock on me. I would have got tore up in that sun. I don't even remember falling asleep. I just remember I closed my eyes, woke up, and was like, wow, I must have been more wore out than I thought.
Everyone was
We never
exposed
put
to the
sun
sun,
cream on.
and many of us
Alright, so if you did put sun cream on, how do you stop the burns?
We didn't.
But you'd get burned.
You'd stay out the sun, or you'd have what that girl just wore, which is a sun visor.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well, that protected your face, but yeah, for the most part, I don't really remember putting on sunblock that much. I don't even put it on my kids. I mean, they don't even go outside, so there's no point in putting it on them. When they were little, my mom, their grandma, used to get really mad when she found out they were outside without it. It's like, I don't remember you getting this mad when I was outside without it. She did make sure, I take that back. She didn't get mad, but she made sure I, put some on my nose or something like that. But otherwise, she really didn't try that hard. So, but with my kids, it's like, so.
sun cream.
Yeah, mad.
We'd never have sun cream.
I'm actually thinking, like, people in hot countries, like, hundreds and 200 years ago, what did they do? Just avoid the sun? Because they would have just got burned.
Well, yeah.
You know
But
what
they're
I
so
They're used to it.
yeah,
Their body
accommodates to it.
yeah,
so
and then
aren't they? So
our
it's-
body's probably got used to the protection now.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean?
of us would compare sunburns at the end of the day.
Yeah.
When our skin started peeling, we would see who could peel off the biggest flake.
That satisfied
Oh,
peeling
look.
it off,
True.
though.
Looks
It's
like
true, that's what
Texas.
we used to do.
It also wasn't uncommon to see teen girls and young women laying out and trying to get that golden beach tan.
Well, people do that now.
Quite often, they would speed up this process by using either coconut oil or tanning
Yeah.
oil.
I
Today,
used
Cooking
most kids
themselves.
get
I used
lathered up
cooking
with
oil.
anything from
I used to
30
put cooking oil
SPF to
on.
100
I did.
SPF.
cooking oil.
It's interesting to think they put oil so they could burn more.
Parents in those days certainly didn't have to watch us like the parents do today. They not only trusted us, but they also trusted our friends and the rest of the community.
Well, let's be honest. They didn't have a choice. We didn't have all these tracking stuff that we have now. Trust me, if we had this stuff back then, parents probably would have been using it.
Parents realized that we needed to do things on our own, and that was how we were going to learn. However, if they were watching and we happened to get hurt, there was no doubt that they were going to be laughing as long as it wasn't life-threatening.
Yeah.
It's true.
Bikes were everything to a Gen X
Love
kid.
that
and
movie.
They provided
Wait, what movie is this?
Goonies.
I've never seen it.
Louis, shut up.
I've never seen
You
it.
have seen it.
I've never seen it.
Oh, the Goonies. You've got to watch it.
No, listen, I realize there's a lot of movies I need to watch because when we've done these videos before, you mentioned movies, all the comments are on your side with like good movies,
Does he not watch movies?
and I haven't seen it. No, I've never seen it.
us a freedom that we couldn't get from anything
Never
else.
seen it.
We could go on adventures that were hours away from home, and for the most part, our parents had
Oh yeah, we would. It's basically be home before dark or be home before the street lights on. But yeah, you just go out all day. And sometimes, like during the summer, you didn't even really have to come home. If you were playing out in front of the house, they didn't care. You just played until we would play till 8, 9 o'clock at night during the summer. Then go in and eat and be so wore out we just fall asleep.
we were
I had one
at.
of them bikes.
We
Mad.
also used our bikes to jump some pretty shady ramps.
You know what bike that is?
We could
Now I never had a bike with a banana seat. It was what we used to call a bike. Those had banana seats. I had a friend who had one, but I didn't have one. I had a BMX bike, and he had a banana seat bike.
do a
Did I have one of them? Like the big, like
You did, but
it got robbed.
Yeah, but not like that.
Oh, what's that?
That's chopper.
Yeah, I swear I had like a
No,
chopper.
you didn't have. You had a similar
Did I?
version of a chopper, but yeah, choppers are worth a lot of money now.
Are they? What? Because
Yeah.
they don't make them no more.
Yeah.
lot with some plywood and bricks, and it was hours of
Look at that picture. That kid got hurt. I don't care what anyone says. He is not landing right.
entertainment. As we look back on our childhoods and compare it to
Everyone's
modern
got the
kids, it's hard to
choppers.
believe that we did all those
That's a lot of
bike
money.
adventures with no helmet or knee pad.
This picture's probably more from the 70s than the 80s, because in the 80s, everybody went to BMX bikes, the dirt bikes and stuff.
No.
This picture pretty well sums
Okay.
up the generation.
That's mad. You didn't do that.
Yes, because in my
Okay, we did jump, but usually not that many. And I'm just going to call shenanigans on this picture. I don't think it's a... This picture's all together as one. I just got a feeling that it's over-exaggerated. Maybe a kid was added to it to make it look longer. But then again, we did do stupid stuff, so this could be 100% real. But yeah, usually it wasn't that many people. Usually you have one or two, at most three. You didn't do five. Because just by this picture and everything, that kid's coming up short.
it was big on Evil Knievel.
What's that?
It was a guy who used to ride a motorbike, so it was
I used to have toys of Evil Knievel.
massive. So it's
Okay.
like, a bit like your Star Wars today.
Okay.
So Evil Knievel and the BMX Bandits. So
Yeah.
everybody wanted to be a BMX bandit.
What?
So-
Jump over people?
Yep, I had a BMX. As for Evil Knievel, there was actually two Evil Knievels, father and son. There was Evil Knievel and then Evil Knievel Jr. Now, the father never went by a senior because he was first. He was just Evil Knievel, and then he had his son. And then his son became Evil Knievel Jr. Both have... did his dad die in a wreck? Now, the son passed away, but I don't think he crashed or anything. He just old age.
Anything, yeah, but them days you didn't see the danger. That was
What?
we used to-
Obviously, the dad's in the background watching, thinking, "Hey,
exactly.
I don't care if
Exactly.
my kids die."
They used to build ramps and a few great.
That's mad.
If you
I slammed into the back of a van. I was pedaling. We were flying, and I couldn't stop, and I hit the back of a van. And, man, I had a busted tooth. I had a busted lip. I've had busted lots of things. I never broke a bone, which is funny, but I twisted a lot of muscles and pulled a lot. It's probably why I'm in such bad shape now. Things hurt. It's all caught up with me. Yeah, I've twisted my legs, my arms, and my neck. I had whiplash really bad playing tag. Yeah, I was playing tag and got whiplash. That's how rough we were playing.
fall off your bike now, the child goes crying. Oh, but years ago we used to come in and we was black and blue like we'd been beat up by Mike Tyson or something.
Yeah, you had to really get hurt before you ran home. 'Cause most times you didn't want to run home hurt because the parents were like, "What did you do?" But usually, it had to be really bad. Like I wrecked on my bike to where I skinned up the side of my leg, and that hurt. And my mom picked rocks out of my leg. That's how bad it was. She was sitting there with tweezers just picking rocks out of my leg. I had a whole bunch of gravel rammed into my leg. I burned the back of my leg touching the stove because back then we didn't have central air wasn't really that big. We had stoves in the bathroom, and I backed into it when I was toweling off, and it was so quick. It was like boom! I had a scar in the back. The best part is it was in shape of a T, which was was the first letter of my last name. So I thought that was interesting.
Mum used to go, pull yourself together.
You know what?
No,
I think
it's
that's why.
different.
I feel like that's why the older people now say that the newer people are just like weak and just softers.
Yeah, I think we was much tougher.
You definitely would. Well,
We would have to. Be
I
much
ain't ever.
tougher.
I was never doing this, and I
Yeah,
would
we
never
was
dream
much
of doing
tougher.
this.
And if you'd get hit by at school or anything like that, you'd go in and tell your parents. They'd say, "Right, you go back in there and you hit them twice as hard, otherwise I'm gonna hit you."
Yeah, you would actually end up teaching you get taught how to fight. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to teach you how to fight. And yeah, that was the thing. It's like, beat them up.
That's how they used to bring you up. That was them days.
Bad. Yeah, they wouldn't do that now.
They wouldn't do that
They
now.
wouldn't
They'd
do
get
that now.
done.
This kid is jumping his bike off of a super tall ramp.
That's
Notice that it has
crazy.
no helmet, knee pads, or elbow pads.
Yeah,
Just
Evel
pure
Knievel.
fun adventure.
They had helmets and knee pads and all that, but we never wore them. You would see them in movies and TV shows, people wearing them sometimes, but overall, we didn't wear them.
If this Evel Knievel lands short, then the kid on the end is in trouble. And occasionally,
Yeah, bro. If he lands on him, is he not dead?
Look, he's looking as if to say, I'm shitting myself here. And they're looking as if to say, you're going to get it first. I've got at least a couple of minutes before it lands on me.
Bro, hell no.
Even the girls are praying. Please, Lord,
Actually, I kind of wonder if they were clapping.
let number 2 make it across.
that did happen. As you look at the kids on the side, you can tell that they are worried about this because they've seen it happen
That's
themselves.
mad.
But the best part about
The
this
dad.
photo is there's a dad sitting on the front steps and he's smoking a cigarette while he's waiting
not
to
bothered.
see who gets hurt first.
Whatever.
For him,
The
this
Gong
is as
Show.
good as any gong show on television.
I used to watch The Gong Show.
Oh, you lot was
No
just
saying
like,
cigarette smoke was everywhere.
honestly, like people that was born in the Gen X era
Yeah,
just lived a whole different life.
absolutely.
Whole different.
We really did. The era of Gen X is 100% different than the era of the Boomers and 100% different than anything that came after us. There was something about Gen X. We are the generation that is not like any other generation. We're not similar to any other generation. We're not like any other generation. We're Gen X. I don't know how else to put that. It's just, there was just something about that time frame between, I would say all the way from 1970 all the way up till 2000. In that time frame, there was just something about that window of time, you know, that window of time where things were just different. And then before that, things went one way. Then in between that time, it was like things changed. And then 2000s came around and it's almost like it went backwards. It felt like it, I'll be honest, it kind of felt like it went backwards, the way kids are being raised. So, yeah, things, there was just something about that time frame.
life.
It was
man.
fun. It was fun.
Yeah.
Kids was
Couldn't
kids.
avoid
Dangerous.
secondhand smoke if you
It was
wanted
dangerous,
to.
but that was the fun.
In fact, most of us had at least one parent that smoked.
Yeah.
My dad.
Parents would send their kids into convenience stores to purchase.
We also had cigarette machines. There were cigarette machines everywhere. It said you must be 21 to buy, but they were there was no monitoring system. It was the honor system, so anyone could buy it.
cigarettes while they waited out in the car.
Yeah.
See, that's
Usually
mad.
the
Yeah.
clerk would just look out and get a nod from the parent, which would
That's
signal
so
that it was
true.
okay to buy the
Yeah.
cigarettes.
Alright, wait.
Yeah.
I want to know, was that a UK thing as well? Because we're comparing UK
Yes.
with America.
Yes, it was.
So,
Yeah.
so this video is more like Gen X global then, not just America then.
No. Grandad used to send me to get his. He used to smoke cigars.
Yeah, and
So
you
you
could
s-
pick them up
I could pick them up
as a kid.
just as long as he was there and they could see him. So they'd look round me and go, "Okay, yeah, that's fine. Is it for your dad? Is he outside? Yeah, he's outside." And they used to serve him.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I know in America they was able to do it even with a signed note. So like they could take a note
Yes,
from the dad.
yeah.
Could you do that as well?
Yeah, I've never actually done that, but my friends used to do it. Yeah.
That may have stopped in the late 80s, early 90s, but that was the real thing. You could literally just go, if they knew who you were, they knew you were picking up for your parents, they sell them to you. Like I said, there were cigarette machines everywhere. I think the cigarette machines disappeared towards the late 80s. But yeah, there were cigarette machines, and if people at the store knew you, they sell them to you. It's like, oh yeah, you getting these for your dad? Yeah, you getting these for your mom? Yeah. They didn't care.
Take a
Imagine
note.
that now.
But they used
People
to
should be faking
yeah,
it.
they used to take a note with a pint of milk, a loaf of bread,
Cigarettes.
10 cigarettes at the time.
Yeah.
They don't do them no more, but 10 cigarettes and this, that, and the other. And they used to give you the things, and then, "Is your mum and dad all right?
That's
there you go.
mad.
Have a good day." But that's when shopkeepers knew you.
What about alcohol?
They
Could you do
knew
that for
you.
alcohol as well?
I don't know. I've never
No,
actually done that.
I don't.
for alcohol.
I don't remember them doing it with alcohol. It was only cigarettes. For whatever reason, it was okay with cigarettes.
But But they used to know you. They used to, you know what I mean? Nowadays, people don't know you.
Yeah, true. That's mad. That's the craziest thing, that.
Yeah.
If the parents were not around, then the kid probably needed a note from the parents saying that it was okay to buy the cigarettes. These notes were never all that official, and it might be written on a notepad, scratch of paper,
They
or
would
the back
never
of a receipt.
allow that now.
Dear clerk.
Can you imagine that now, though?
Like Taylor Ray going up to the shop,
Yeah.
7 years old.
My mum says I want a pint of lager, 20 fags,
Cigarettes.
cigarettes. Do you know what I mean? It's just.
Yeah, it's like.
Yeah.
Oh, and since loads of people are American, by the way, the F word in the UK is cigarettes.
Oh yeah.
That's
yeah,
like the slang.
That's the slang for cigarettes.
Yeah.
I do apologise, but it is the slang for
No,
cigarettes.
a lot of people know it is. It's fine. It's just
Yeah.
like a lot of people be like, "Wait, what did she just say?"
No,
but that's just like
yeah,
standard
it
word.
It is.
For
It's just how I've been
cigarettes.
brought up.
Yeah,
It is for cigarettes.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I heard that for cigarettes, I was like, we were watching, I think it's talked about this before, me and my sister were watching a TV show about a barber in the UK, and one of them asked for it, for a cigarette, and he said that, and we were like, wait, what? What did he say? We figured out what they meant, but I was like, did he say it? He said it. He said it, right? Yeah. So, yeah, even back then we were confused what they were talking about, but we figured it out.
Please sell Rhett a carton of cigarettes. Thanks, Mom.
It's
Can
just
you believe that
crazy.
actually worked? There's no chance that kids...
Oh, you see the cigarette display up there up front? I'm pointing here like you can see my hand. But up front, right here, they don't do that anymore. But yeah, cigarettes set up front like that where anyone can reach them. And you just walk in there, grab it, and pay for it, and walk out.
That's
never do
mad.
that today.
No. Can you imagine seeing that today?
Car safety
Never
was
happened.
something else that most people didn't take too seriously. In the U.S., it became mandatory that every car manufactured after 1968 had to have seatbelts installed in them.
Oh yeah, no
But
seatbelts in
wearing
their
them
cars.
was more of a recommendation rather than a requirement
Sorry,
until
out the
the
windows.
mid-1980s. Until
you was
then,
able to
we
do
stood
that
up
as well?
on the front
Yeah.
seat so that we could see up over the dash, and our dad's arm was
Yeah.
our...
This is more in the 70s. By the 80s, they had seatbelts. It wasn't really enforced, but we had seatbelts. I remember always wearing my seatbelt. And now, if we were in a pickup truck, we ride in the back of the pickup truck. If we were in the station wagon, you'd be in the back. If you were in a van, you'd be in the back. No seatbelt. No one cared if you had a seatbelt or not. But if you were in a regular car, you put your seatbelt on.
seatbelt and the airbag.
Mad.
Another thing that we would do is lay up on the back dash and pick our noses as we looked at the cop car behind us.
It's
We
true.
thought it was super fun.
Now, that was not a common thing because in the 80s, I grew up in the late 70s, 80s, early 80s. You couldn't really do that in most cars, get in the back. But I remember trying to climb up there, just being goofy. You would just turn around, look out the window, and things like that. But that if you had a car from the 60s or 70s, you could do that. But if you had a car from the late 70s, early 80s, that you weren't doing that.
On the brakes, and we came flying out of that back window
Nice.
and slammed into the back of the front seat.
It's true.
Back then, we had to learn how to...
Honestly, like me not being Gen X, yeah, watching this, I'm just sat here thinking, how are you alive? like, bro, like in a car crash, you'd be dead.
Do you know?
Not necessarily. Cars back then were built heavy. They were built out of steel, like they were solid. So if you got in a car if you got in a wreck with a car from the 70s or 80s with a car today, that car from that time frame is most likely going to win. If you took a car from the 50s, fresh off the factory, and a car from now, fresh out the factory, the one from the 60s is going to win. It's going to tear through the other car like tinfoil.
What though? I think it makes you tougher.
Yeah, it must.
It
do.
does.
It must. It must.
It does.
Otherwise,
This is why we don't care.
you would be dead, all of you. I don't get it. I like all of this. Like every single scene here is like in my
It
head.
does.
I'm thinking like you could
So
die from
many times we used to just lay on the back seat of the car and go to sleep on long journeys.
Mad.
Just lay on the back seat and go to sleep.
that. That is crazy. How times have changed, right?
Yeah.
take a fall. And the crazy thing about it is we...
Well, UK did have different cars than us, even back then.
back up there and try it again.
Yeah.
Pickup trucks were not as common as what you see today, and people that had boats would haul them with regular cars, even Cadillacs.
I don't know where he gets pickup trucks were not that common. Pickup trucks were everywhere. I don't know where that came from. But no, pickup trucks were more accommodating. Now, in suburbia, they had a look they were going for, but pickup trucks were everywhere, even 70s and 80s.
And when
Well, I don't think we did that in the UK.
We did not
Yeah,
have pickup trucks or anything like that.
Yeah, we
not
don't.
really.
We're too small
No.
for pickup trucks.
Boats.
Nobody really wants to go boating.
We
The
ain't
water,
got no lakes.
the water's too dirty. It's brown, horrible.
And
Yeah.
it's too cold.
So that's definitely an American
Yeah.
Dad needed lumber, it was going on the roof of the car so that it could come home. He would tie it down a little, but it was still our job to help hold the lumber down as it was stacked on the roof.
thing. Mad.
So there we were, standing up on the seat.
I don't know, unless you were holding the cord on the inside, the rope on the inside, there wasn't much you do. That's why I was saying at the beginning of this person, the narrator says stuff like, where are you getting this information? Because 9 times out of 10, if someone was getting lumber or something, they were using a car, well, the first thing they would do is try to get in the car and it'd be sticking out the window before they put it on the roof, because they didn't want to scratch up the roof. So putting it on the roof was not that common. It was mainly trying to get it through the car, putting it in the trunk. They try to put the back seat down. Even back then, there was ways to make the back seat go down. But yeah, they would try to put it in the car, put it in the trunk, have it sticking out. So it going on a roof was not that common. Now, if they were hauling furniture or a mattress, that would go on the roof. And you have your hand out, like trying to hold it down if you were tall enough. But you still have it tied down. If you weren't going that far, everyone had their hand out the window holding it, like, if you weren't going that far. If you're going on the interstate, that was different. You just give up. But if you're just going like a few houses over, you could do that. But yeah, what this guy's talking about, I don't really see that happening. Even with rednecks, I don't really see them doing that, just because, not so much for kid safety, just lumber is expensive. They're going to make sure that stuff is there. They're going to make sure it gets home.
Out the window,
Is that
clinging to
Christmas
the lumber
tree?
on top.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, because I could.
I think that's from a movie. Is that Christmas? No, it's not Christmas Vacation. But yeah, that's just a shot. That's not real. I don't see them driving around. Was that Christmas Vacation they did that? They had a big old tree on top of it.
In America, some of them actually chop down Christmas trees, don't they?
Yeah, but you can't drive like that.
Well, this guy has.
No, we can't.
That's why I'm thinking this is from a movie, because you see it's got the roots and everything.
Are you supposed to get around the corner with that?
Listen, I've seen some crazy Americans have a lot of stuff on their cars. In America,
Yeah.
this is interesting actually, they're allowed to drive their cars more banged up than us. So, like, that's why you will see in America, like, cars with missing doors, missing windows, like, tire, like, dodgy. You know how, like, we have to have
It's
checks?
allowed?
Yes.
That depends on the state. That's not throughout the entire United States. Where I live, we have inspections. So it used to be every year you got inspected. Now it's every 2 years. But yeah, we have inspections. You have to get your car inspected. If it doesn't pass inspection, it cannot be on the road. And if you're driving the car the way he's describing, the cops see it, they can pull you over and pretty much impound your car right there on the spot, because it's unsafe to be on the road. So that's one thing I can say for West Virginia, is that they do actually take car safety a little more serious than most states. Even though it's West Virginia, we do have beat up trucks on the road, but usually the beat up trucks are usually classified as foreign vehicles, and it's got to be classified a foreign vehicle. And you can't really, I don't think those are allowed on the interstate unless you're going a short distance. And cops will follow you if you say you're just going to the next exit, to make sure you're getting off at the next exit. So, yeah, I think that's really the only acceptable way, is if it's a foreign vehicle.
It's allowed. Like, they can have their cars all banged up.
Yeah, but you can't drive like that. You can't see out the window.
Well, yeah, that is a bit mad, but maybe if you're in somewhere quiet, I don't know.
Oh, has it got a house that's going to fit like it?
Well, it's American.
Look at the roofs on it. Jesus
We were
Christ.
standing up on the seat, halfway out the window,
That is
to
crazy.
the lumber on top, while Dad had his hand on our waistband to keep us from falling out.
That's what I was talking about earlier. That didn't happen.
Other hand, was busy holding down the lumber on his side, which is pretty incredible to think about. At the same time, he was also steering the car, shifting gears, and smoking a cigarette.
How's he doing all that
It's
then?
no wonder that we thought he could do anything.
How's
Actually, by the 80s, most cars were actually being converted to automatics. With that said, the way this guy's describing it, he's over-exaggerating it. The way he described that may have happened here and there, but overall, that didn't happen.
all that? Is it what magic?
Remember some of the other activities we did? We all had toys that are considered dangerous now, but back then it was completely normal.
Lawn darts.
darts was one of those toys. That weighted sharp point could penetrate anything if you didn't get the heck out of the
Goddamn.
way.
We didn't have lawn darts.
Clackers,
but we had
flick-clacks, or
darts.
knockers.
Dog.
Those you could use as a weapon. Both of those are weapons you could use to kill someone. Those were either glass or like a hard plastic. And people would do it as fast as they could or as hard as they could to see if they could shatter them.
Yeah.
And a dartboard.
I won't trust kids in the UK with darts.
Oh yeah, we used to have darts and a dartboard, but not
Had the
lawn darts.
possibility of shattering
What is
and
that?
sending shards of
I know.
plastic flying through the air like shrapnel.
I think they like smack them at each other like.
conkers.
Yeah, but like they will shatter all the time.
So they're glass.
I don't plastic,
Oh.
and they will shatter and like hurt.
The originals were glass. You could get them in glass. They later went to hard plastic. And then they went from a rope to like a stiff rod in them or a stiff piece of plastic in them to make it easier. But even the ones that had the stiff piece of plastic in them, they still would break if you did it just fast and hard enough.
Mad.
Yet somehow some of these clackers survived.
Oh,
In
yes,
fact,
I do
here is
remember
my
them.
pair from
I
the
do
70s.
remember them, the plastic. Yes, I do
Back
remember
then,
them.
we learned how to entertain ourselves with the simplest of things. Do you remember making
Was
long
that
chains
what?
from soda and beer can pull tabs? According to what they say
Did that-
today, we could have been badly cut at any moment, yet most of
I actually I got cut on those. Those things were razor sharp. And we still played with them. I don't know why, but they were razor sharp.
They
cut
did,
We didn't make a chain or anything like that, but we just played with them.
but I personally didn't.
But one dangerous activity that we all did was kite fighting.
No, we didn't. Nobody was kite fighting. This dude's watched one too many movies. Nobody was kite fighting.
Remember this one? You would fasten razor blades to the side of your kite and then swoop it down so that you could cut the string of your friend's kite. If you
No.
were successful, then that kite would keep flying forever.
Nobody was doing this. Kite fighting was not a thing. Nobody would just go out. Now, they did have, I'll take that back. They did have competitions where you, like, clash your kite to other people's kites and stuff. But overall, that was mainly in movies and stuff. In real world, people weren't really doing this. They did have some kite competitions, but we weren't tying razor blades to them and trying to do this. This was not like an everyday thing. If it happened, it was isolated, and overall, nobody was really kite fighting.
Kite took a nosedive to the ground, then you better be quick and get out of the way of those razor blades.
That's a
BB
dangerous
guns were another-
thing.
Yo, what?
I mean, I know we were crazy in the UK. It's, you know, in the
I think
but
Americans
that-
are just crazy.
No, that is crazy.
That's mad. You're
That's
flying a
crazy.
kite with all razor blades.
That's what I said earlier. This guy is either did not grow up as a Gen Xer, or this is AI.
Jesus.
You better be quick and get out of the way of those
No,
razor
that was
blades.
mad.
BB guns were another item that was quite common.
Okay.
Kids could go
Well, you
all
had
over
BB
town with
gun.
one on the
You had BB gun.
Remember what happened? Remember?
Yes, I do remember.
So you guys bought me loads of BB guns.
Yes, we did.
I set up. It was so fun. We
Yeah.
had a BB gun war on the street.
Yeah, that's when kids played outside.
Yep. So like I've told him before, like my kind of era, I was playing outside until I was like 12, 13,
You just
and then went into
yeah.
console
So
games.
you was on the
I was at the end of it.
yeah. You was on the change.
I
weren't
was at
you?
the change up
yeah,
of it.
Yeah.
So when I was like 11, 12, I was playing with BB guns. We had a BB gun fight, really fun.
Yeah.
Some girl got hit that was walking by accident. Then, bro, oh my god, it was actually.
Yeah, I never had BB guns. I fired BB guns, but yeah, honestly, I don't think I ever really wanted a BB gun. I played with my friends, and I would see how they had to load them, and I would think, yeah, I'm good. Because they didn't load like regular guns. You had to dump it. So you dump down the barrel of the gun and crank it until it was ready to shoot. But yeah, I've never a big BB gun guy. Just wasn't my thing.
I was only small, so I seen the biggest man walk round the corner. He was mad. He was
massive.
angry.
Yeah.
Came up to me. He's like, oh, who shot my door? Blah, blah, blah. Took my gun. Snapped my gun. I'm there crying. I'm like, that's my brand new BB gun. That was like, so I ran home, got my dad, and I don't even know what happened. Did Dad come out?
Dad went
He was a
round.
big guy though.
Yeah, but Dad's not a big guy. Dad's a little guy.
Yeah.
So Dad went round, knocked on his door, thinking
Yeah.
he was going to be of his size,
Oh, really?
and he opened the door,
And he was massive.
towered over your dad, and your dad saw and went. Had second thoughts about knocking on his door, but it
I think if that was me, I would have went and be like, you owe me a BB gun. You should have came and talked to me. I would have took the gun away and punished him. But now you owe me a BB gun, and if the guy did try something, I probably would have grabbed me by the groin. Actually, as a kid, if that had happened to me, I can tell you now, my dads and uncles would have probably, went and had a conversation with him. Someone would have went and talked to that man and be like, you know, it's a BB gun. So, yeah. That would not have gone over well. My mom would have been pissed beyond pissed, and she probably would have called the cops first, had the guy arrested for doing that. Now, I probably would have got trouble too, actually, now I think about it. But, yeah, that would not have gone over well if that guy just came and broke my gun without... If he didn't have proof I was the one that shot him too, there would be hell to pay.
was too late by this time. And he's answered the door, and he's gone, "You've upset my son!" And the big guy backed down.
Really?
Yeah, he backed down. Well,
Wow.
I'm ever so sorry. Yeah.
Hey, some people were scared of little people.
No, I think it was just because the fact that you must be crazy to be tackling someone that big.
Yeah, true.
So
He
he's
was
looking at you
massive.
like,
He was
you know,
scary.
yeah.
He was big.
What are you doing at my doorstep? And
But
he's
I feel
pointing his
like-
finger at me.
I feel like stuff like that, like BB gunfights, if you get hit accidentally, like, yeah, it's going to hurt, but that's like a part of the fun of being a
Yeah,
kid. You know what I
but
mean?
it was a girl, and
Yeah, but
you
we didn't meet to
It
hit
was
her.
a crossover era as well.
Yeah, true. Yeah, true.
In the front of their handlebars, and the BB wars
They
would
were
certainly
fun.
get intense.
I'm glad I did
Back
do
then,
something
we
like that.
definitely did not have safety at the top of our list when those broke out.
It did hurt though.
Can you imagine
You really could put your eye out with those.
seeing a kid like that now? at the edge of the
Firecrackers
street?
were certainly a lot more accessible than they are today.
Oh, yeah. When I was younger, firecrackers where I live were actually illegal. We would have to sneak them in and use them. But, yeah, we would stick them under rocks and things like that and light them and see what would happen.
Like you could pop them off in every city,
Yeah,
and
we
it was
did it.
perfectly
Oh, just
legal.
fireworks. Oh, we didn't have.
Like I just said, they were not legal in every state. They were illegal in a lot of states back in that time.
Off
I
some
don't think there was
fireworks and then
Brothers
place them
fireworks.
into your
Are there
Tonka truck and
fireworks?
roll it into the driveway where some neighborhood girls were playing jacks so that you could get their attention? No,
Man.
well, I guess that was just me then. Speaking of jacks, they were definitely something painful to step
Yeah.
on if you were barefoot.
What?
Metal. They were made of metal originally, and they switched them to plastic. But the plastic ones were made of hard plastic, so they were just as dangerous as the metal ones.
A parent today that
never understood
complains
that
about a
game.
Lego being stepped
What
on.
did you have that?
Yeah, we had something like that where you have to throw the ball up and then pick up the jacks or something. It was like little square things. So you throw the ball up, and as long as it takes, you've got to pick up as many as you can until the ball comes down and you catch it.
Okay.
It really helped with a hand-eye coordinator. From what I remember, you would bounce the ball and it would go up. You start off with grabbing one, then you bounce again and grab two, but bounce again and grab three. It was basically at the end, whoever had the most was the winner.
Yeah.
Interesting. They're
I
just
never-
like, if you step on them, it's going to kill.
Oh, it would. They're ever so
if you can see it here, you see how the tips are flat? If we go back, let me see. See how those are sharp? It's a little sharper. It doesn't look actual point, but they're sharper or have come to more to a point than the other ones. So, yeah.
Little square things. So you throw catch it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. They're just like, if you step on them, it's going to kill.
Oh, it would. They're versatile.
Has
The metal.
probably never
Even those flat ones, the flat tips there, those could pierce your foot if you step down on it with all your weight.
really stepped on a jacks. These things would completely hide in the shag carpet, and they were like little soldiers that were waiting to ambush
Yeah,
you.
they're just like...
And even if you stepped on the balls of those things, that would still hurt. For those of you who have never stepped on a jack, just imagine stepping on Legos. It's the same thing, actually. It's the exact same thing.
Like, really sharp metal.
With all that time that you
I remember those. I actually scraped my shins on those. That was a lot of fun. Oh my God. If it kicked back on you and spun backwards and hit you, it hurt like hell.
spent on the bicycle,
Oh my
Okay,
God.
so I had the
Oh
bike
my
that had
God.
them.
They're horrible. They killed you.
You know when like the pedal's gone too quick and it's gone back and hit your ankle?
Whacked you in the shin.
Still
yeah,
remember
I had
that.
a bike with
Yeah.
them.
Painful.
then I'm sure
Horrible.
that you
Like over here, I know it's rust, but when I first saw it, I think it's blood from its last victim.
contact with at least one of these.
But Gen Xers, that's all you had.
Yeah.
Because like it was my
Now, by the 80s, they were switching to hard plastic, but some of the hard plastics still look like that and could get you. But yeah, they were switching over to hard plastic. But even growing up, we had a combination of both.
Always covered in bruises.
it was my period where we was coming out of these. So I had one very early on, but
Yeah,
then
listen,
it
you
lasted
had
now.
bruises on your shins from them. You had pins on your fingers.
I wonder how old he is, because I'm going to be 49. So they were just coming out of this when I was young. So probably about mid-80s, they were really switching over.
It's from the jack.
Probably didn't, it's possible he still grew because it really didn't go away till early 2000.
You had tire marks from the man that jumped over you thinking he's Evil Knievel. You was
One slip of
bastard.
the foot, and
Crazy.
this pedal could travel up your leg like a vegetable peeler.
Yes.
Kids
Oh,
today
look at
know
that.
nothing
Yeah,
about
there
that
was-
level of pain.
That's an older one.
They was the ones that strapped around your ankle.
Oh,
Here is something else that could be really painful. These chairs were really comfortable to
I cut my finger in one of those damn things. I still remember that. I was trying to adjust it. It shifted, and my finger caught in the gears, and it slipped my finger open. You could see the meat in there. Oh, I can still remember that. That's how bad it was. It left a scar. I never messed with those things again. I was done with them. It was like, nope, I'm good.
but when you got up, you had
Why you
lines
laughing?
going all across your skin.
Oh my God, they
But
used to
that
fold
wasn't
me
the
in
worst
half.
part.
wait, really?
They were
Yeah.
not the easiest to adjust.
No.
You had to bend them all the way
What, would it
in
just
so that you
snap?
could
Oh,
adjust
no,
them
yeah,
further
snap,
out.
like a fire trap.
One wrong move and the hinges of these torture
Yeah.
devices could snap down on you like a bear trap and
What?
take off
There
a
was.
chunk of skin.
You'd lay down and all
Are
of a
these
sudden
chairs
like
even
that.
sold today?
What? That's such a
And they'll
bad
just
design.
snap.
Despite
Yeah.
all the dangers that were lurking all around us, it really was a special time to grow up in.
Okay, so that was fun. But yeah, that folding chair, those lawn chairs, oh my God, I still remember the pain from that. It cut my finger open. I don't have a scar from it, thankfully, but okay, I have a mental scar from it, but yeah, I do remember that. Again, I'll leave a link for both, but some of those things he was way off on, and I think he just over-exaggerated for the video. And I did like watching her reaction to see what they did versus what we did. So I'll leave a link for both of them. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Everyone take care. And Happy New Year if you happen to watch this on New Year's. All right, everyone. Take care. Later.